What happens here? We seem to be going live. Are we getting there? Yes, we are live. So let me get myself on the monitor here for a second. That's right. We are right here at WCRS Radio. Yes, I am Ann Eller. Yes, we are live here, having a few technical difficulties. I'm not sure what it's related to. But again, if you know, 864-332-9355, I'd appreciate a heads up as to what is the smoke and what is going on with the power outages around. Food Lion is in the dark, the light at 72, and right there is out in front of Food Lion. So I don't know. Somebody let me know. 864-332-9355. Well, the other night, Linda Gail Lewis was at the Fiddle and Bow Music Hall over there in Honeypath. And it was such a great night that I wanted to share this with you. So I'm going to play her interview. If you're on Facebook, you'll be able to see the video. If you can't watch it right now, you can come back and watch it later. But it is with Linda Gail Lewis in the infamous green room over there at the Fiddle and Bow, which really consists of a sofa, a couple of chairs, and I don't know. I think that's about it. But anyways, we had a good time. We went, I took Diane, went with me. We celebrated her birthday on Saturday. We went over to the Olive Garden and just had a nice meal and then went over there and had this interview. So without further ado, I'm going to see. Hopefully it will play. Let's see where it is. Video. Here we go. Video 1. There's 2 videos. One's real short and one is about 20 minutes long. Let's see if it's going to play for us. Let's try it.
Praise God a lot
Right.
because I've been really blessed to be able to do something that I love and I didn't have a lot of big hit records and stuff like my brother did, but I was still able to have a career. And
Honey, you held an audience. Let me just tell that. I saw some of your old videos with the fringe swinging and everything. I'm telling you, you were a good-looking woman. I'm telling you.
Thank you so much. But as I got older, I started my solo career.
Mm-hmm.
And I highly recommend that because I think anytime you are getting older and you start something new like that, it's challenging and you're busy and you don't have time to think about, like when I was in my 50s and 60s, I was so busy, I didn't think about, the change of life and stuff like that. I heard horror stories about people going through that and how awful it was, and I didn't have time to think about it really.
Well, I had a huge jewelry store with my husband through 2017, and in 2007 he bought me a radio station, and I said, "What the hell have you done that for?" And he goes, "You'd be good on the radio, Ann." And so we bought a radio station.
That's wonderful.
And then we bought another one, and then he died in 2020, and so I've had to keep it all going, and you don't have time to stop.
You don't have time to stop and feel sorry for yourself.
That's true.
I had a hot flash the other day.
That is so true. And I think, for me, when he died, he had brain cancer, he died, and I couldn't stop. I had to keep going. And so it made me get through it a whole lot better than I think sometimes. Because
it must be very hard to go through that.
Yes,
absolutely. It must be very hard.
It must be very hard to be married 8 times.
Well, a lot of them went by pretty quickly.
They must have.
Because, when I was 15, I had actually been married 3 times by the age of 15. Praise God a lot
Right.
because I've been really blessed to be able to do something that I love, and you know, I didn't have a lot of big hit records and stuff like my brother did, but I was still able to have a career.
Honey, you held an audience. Let me just tell that. I saw some of your old videos with the fringe swinging and everything. I'm telling you, you were a good-looking woman. I'm telling you.
Thank you so much. But you know, as I got older, I started my solo career, and I highly recommend that because I think anytime you are getting older and you start something new like that, it's challenging and you're busy and you don't have time to think about, like when I was in my 50s and 60s, I was so busy, I didn't think about, you know, the change of life and stuff like that. I heard horror stories about people going through that and how awful it was, and I didn't have time to think about it really.
Well, you know, I had a huge jewelry store with my husband up through 2017, and in 2007 he bought me a radio station, and I tell him, if you've done that for? And he goes, you'd be good on the radio, Ann. And so we bought a radio station.
That's wonderful.
And then we bought another one, and then he died in 2020, and so I've had to keep it all going, and you don't have time to stop.
You don't have time to stop and feel sorry for yourself.
That's true.
I had a hot flash the other day.
That is so true. And I think for me, when he died, he had brain cancer, he died, and I couldn't stop. I had to keep going. And so it made me get through it a whole lot better than I think sometimes. Because
it must be very hard to go through that.
Yes, absolutely.
It must be very hard.
It must be very hard to be married 8 times.
Well, a lot of them went by pretty quickly.
They must have.
Because, you know, when I was 15, I had actually been married 3 times by the age of 15. Praise God. I was married to Annie's dad. We were married for 10 years. But then when I went back into show business, that's when that marriage fell apart. And actually, my best friend was there helping it fall apart. Because when I came home from a 3-month tour one time, they were kind of like together. And so, but you know the others, it's just like about a year. And Kenny Lovelace, who is one of my dearest friends, we were married for about 1 year. And we didn't really have a falling out about it.
Right.
But we just realized that we couldn't live together as a man and wife. We could be friends.
Right.
And play music together, but not be married. So that was very easy. But then the other, the first 3, well, one of them I married twice. And that's a mistake. Because
yes.
all the stuff that was wrong the first time that we were married, it was even more wrong the second time that we were married. And we had 2 children. And then
do you go by that song, Mama told me I better shop around?
Well, and you know, I was always big on commitment, and I always felt like if you're going to live with somebody, you should be married to them.
Right.
But the other thing that I did that was really crazy is when my marriage broke up with Annie's dad, then I ended up marrying Elvis tribute artist, and that was a big mistake. And he actually was a crazy guy. I mean, really crazy. But I think what caused that, I think I'd had a nervous breakdown and just didn't realize it.
You were too busy to know you had a nervous breakdown.
I was too busy to realize that, hang on, you're in the middle of a nervous breakdown. Don't marry this Elvis impersonator. No, that didn't happen like that. I ended up marrying him, and it was a mess. So then after that, you know, eventually I met my husband again. I had met him in earlier years when we were both young. And then when we were in our 40s, we met each other, and what actually happened was that he was a famous guy in the music business. He was a promotion man,
right?
And actually he'd managed a couple of artists and stuff like that. And there was a guy who had put a floor down in his house in Memphis. I was in Memphis then.
I guess I better stay with this story. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was in Memphis, and so this guy that put his floor down was one of my fans. And he was coming to see me regularly at my gigs when I was playing. And he said to me, you know, I know this guy, Eddie Braddock, who's kind of famous in the music business. I said, well, I've heard of Eddie Braddock. He said, well, I think you should call him. He might be able to help you. And I certainly needed help. And so he gave me his unlisted phone number.
All right.
And I called him a few times, and at first he didn't really want to get back in the music business at all. He was working for FedEx.
Right.
And he didn't want to get back into it. So the way I got him to come to my first gig that he came to was I told him he was probably afraid to come. And he said, I'm not afraid of anything. So then he came to see me. And then we ended up married.
And you've been married to him for
34 years ago.
Right. That's cool.
Miracles do happen.
And do happen, absolutely. Well, you know, you actually were on the forefront, I would say, of women in music becoming big stars and this type of thing in music. It had to have been tough.
Well, you know, I knew a lot of the big stars. People, I of course met Tammy Wynette and knew Loretta Lynn pretty well because we worked with her a lot back in the day when my brother had his career in country music. And she would be there backstage, and she was always really friendly, and I had a chance to get to know her. What a beautiful, wonderful person she is. And, of course, I knew Tammy Wynette just a little bit, not so much. But I was around them, but I didn't have the big hit records like they had. But I did have one hit record with my brother. We recorded an old Carl and Pearl Butler song, Don't Let Me Cross Over, and it was number 4 in the country charts. And I was really proud of that.
Absolutely. But still, I mean, you still were out there and you were doing, I mean, what about Wanda Jackson?
You know, I got to know Wanda a little bit later on. Back in those days when we were traveling, I don't remember us ever doing a gig with Wanda back then. But later on, we were doing gigs with her. My brother, of course, did a gig with her in London. Not too long ago. You know, that was kind of like in much later years. But they're really good friends. My brother and Wanda are. And then, of course, my son-in-law was her producer and produced and was her band leader. And so I've gotten to be closer to her through Danny, through my son-in-law. And she's a lovely lady.
She is. She's retired. She's retired now.
She has, yes. And she does come to see us sometimes when we're in Oklahoma City. Not every time, but she has come to see us, and we love it. It's always really special when she comes and hangs out with us. I just love her. She is a really sweet Christian woman.
I love her song. What is it? What was the name of that song?
Who Shot Sam?
Who Shot Sam? I love that song.
I'm not so familiar with that one. I'm more into like Fujiyama Mama and Let's Have a Party. And when I started my solo career, that's who I started listening to. Because a friend of mine told me, said, well, you want to play rock and roll? Because I'd been a country singer all my life. And then when I started my solo career when I was 40, I had to figure some things out.
And what made you get into, you didn't play the piano before, did you?
Well, I could play chords and stuff, but I had to develop the rock and roll and boogie woogie, and my brother had shown me how to do something on the piano that would really help me, and you know, God blessed me. He showed me that in the 70s, and then when I needed it in 1987, whenever that was, the Lord blessed me where I could remember that. And so much. And then I got a bunch of stuff that Wanda had done, like Let's Have a Party and Fujiyama Mama. And I thought, but the other thing that happened to me was we were on a festival with Wanda in the 80s, in the late, right when I stopped going on the road with my brother. We were doing a festival with Wanda Jackson, and it was a matinee. So I had been having breakfast with her and her husband Wendell every morning. And what a sweet lady. She'd talk about her grandchildren and stuff. And we would just have a big time. She's just this really sweet, wonderful Christian woman that I got to know that way.
Right.
And then that was a long tour. It lasted about 2 months. And at the end of that tour, right at the end, she was going to be on where I could see her because it was a matinee and I could go out and watch her show. And I was absolutely shocked. That sweet little woman that I've been eating breakfast with every morning, she walked out there, and when she got on that microphone, she did something that I understood. She sang rock and roll, and she rocked like a man. not like a cute little thing that they're doing some kind of cute little song or something. She walked up to that microphone and she said, "Some people like to rock. Some people like to roll." And I'm like, "Oh my Lord, what just happened here?" And then I thought, that's it.
That's what you wanted to do.
That's what you had to do. And I always tell her, and she gets a big kick out of it. She always said, "Now, Linda, you always said you learned how to sing from me, and you learned how to play the piano from your brother." And that's true.
That was very cool. Well, what was it like when you were on stage with your brother? Your brother was electric. I mean, you can see the videos, and you seem to have a lot of chemistry.
I absolutely loved it. And I actually had to thank the woman, I did it in an interview, that caused me to not be on the road with my brother anymore, because I would never have left my brother. I loved traveling with him so much, singing with him so much, being with him. He was so good to me. But the lady, well, no, I shouldn't say lady, but the person, the woman.
Carrie.
Scary Carrie?
The woman he was married to, I couldn't be around that woman. She absolutely was so mean to me. She hated
was scary.
She did not want me to be there. And so I had to start my solo career, and that's when I did that. But I thanked her in an interview. I did an interview in the Memphis newspaper. And I said, I am so grateful to her, because I wouldn't have had a career.
Well, see, now we know what it is that made you go out on your own, right?
Well, I tell you what, sometimes people will try to do something bad to you.
Yep.
It can turn out to be something really good. That's really good for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what do you think that the music, rockabilly, why do you think it's still popular today?
Well, and my brother always said, he always said, Linda, we don't really do rockabilly, we do rock and roll. But it's fun. You can just see people in the audience. It's kind of like in the Holy Roller churches where I grew up in the Assembly of God, when people go to church, they have such a good time and you can feel the spirit and something's happening. And when rock and roll music is happening,
yes,
you can feel something from that. And it's fun. And it will not go away. It's still here. It's still happening. And how many years has this been now?
I know.
It's been a lot of years. And other kinds of music that are great have kind of like, maybe they're still around. People still enjoy jazz and blues and things like that. But rock and roll is here to stay.
You recorded a Taylor Swift song.
I did.
Love Story. And I really think that your interpretation of it is awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
My son-in-law suggested it because, well, to be honest,
I'm her son-in-law, by the way.
There was
Danny.
She wasn't my son-in-law, but she just was saying.
There was some money involved.
Okay.
I'm a struggling artist. I always need money. There's always that.
Right.
And then I thought, well, I like a challenge, and
Taylor Swift, she called me, she said, please get Linda Gail to sing that. She said, I only want Linda Gail to sing
well,
that.
But Danny thought it was a song that I could do.
You did great.
I'll tell you, it was a challenge. I had to work on that. I had to work hard on that. I didn't just sit down and do that in 5 minutes, I can tell you right now. Because her whole style of singing and everything, and writing,
yes.
and I came to appreciate what a great songwriter she is. And I love that song. It reminds me of like when I met my husband, and we were both young. And that's what reminds me. I just love the song.
It is a great song. Now, of all the things you've done out there in the world, what's one moment that you harken back to when you say, oh, that moment?
It's terrible for me to say this. It sounds like I'm bragging.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead. This is your time.
But there's so many. Like when I did the Shindig show way back when I was 17 with my brother. And then...
that was beautiful. That was beautiful.
And a lot of those wonderful concerts that we did together. And then when we did the Midnight Special, which is I still go and look at that on YouTube. Annie will say, are you looking at yourself on YouTube? And so that was a really wonderful moment. And I have to say that it really meant a lot to me when I was on stage one night with Van Morrison and Tom Jones. Because I'd done an album with Van.
Right.
And we were doing a show together, and Tom was there. And he and Van had done a song together, a duet.
Right.
And I remember Van saying, "We got to get him on and get him off quickly because he'll just take over the whole show."
Right.
And I was doing the piano parts on that song, and I was playing with those two guys, and that was pretty cool. I have to say that was pretty cool. And then and this is a story I'll tell later during the show, but when we met John Lennon, that was really special. I have so many special moments. It's so hard to get it down to one.
Are you going to write a book?
I really should, because I tried to write a book one time, and the guy that was the ghostwriter, I don't feel like he did a very good job. And he used his own voice in it, and it would sound really weird, like he was talking like he was me. But I would never say that. I would never talk exactly that way. So it's not a good idea to have a ghostwriter like that when you write a book. I think you just have to write it and get someone to edit it. And just as soon as I have time to do it, I really would like to do that, because so much has happened to me.
I know. It's a fascinating story. It is.
It's a lot of stuff that's happened way back, and then, of course, as time moves on, and then I felt one thing that really meant a lot to me, but I have to say it was really scary. My son-in-law made arrangements.
Danny.
My
son-in-law, Danny.
Made arrangements for me to make 2 albums at Sun Studios. At Sun Studios in Memphis, and that was special. But when I went in there, I have to say that I was scared, because there was this little voice in the back of my head that was saying, "Who do you think you are to come in here and
on
do
hallowed ground?" Right?
Yes,
on
who do you
hallowed
think you
ground.
are? Where Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis have done these albums, and who do you think you are? And then the other thing was, Danny had gotten Slim Jim Phantom from the Stray Cats to play drums with us. He's flying in from California, and I'm thinking, what if he doesn't like me, Because I had barely met him, just briefly. I didn't really know him. I thought, this guy's a big star. He has his own bus. I did a festival with Stray Cats, and they had 3 buses. And I said, why do they have 3 buses? Are they carrying equipment or something? And the promoter said, no, each one of them have their own bus. So that was pretty scary, but it was really wonderful, and it was really special doing those albums at Sun Studios.
Well, that'll always be a memory.
And yes, and of course I still have the albums.
Right.
So that makes it really special. One of them is called Rockabilly Queen.
Yeah. Now, who came up with the idea of the cover for that?
Rockabilly Queen?
Yes.
I think Brian at Cleopatra did that cover, didn't he, Danny?
Because that's a wild cover.
It is wild. I sent that to a guy, and I sent him the big vinyl thing.
Right.
He's actually a writer. He writes books and stuff. Oh gosh, I have a senior moment. I can't remember his name. He's kind of famous. Can't remember his name. Anyway, I sent it to him, and he called me and he said, "Linda Gail, that is the sexiest piece of vinyl that I have ever seen."
Yeah, it's great.
I love that album cover. And of course, I like the other one too, that's a tribute.
Right.
An old picture of me and my brother that was made at the Palomino Club in California in the 60s. So that was really cool.
Well, what would you like the audience to take away from your concert here tonight at the Fiddle and Bow?
I just want to enjoy my music, my brother's music, and we have a Wanda Jackson song we're probably doing tonight, and just to enjoy the music and have a good time. That's what's important is for the audience to enjoy it, because we just have an audience.
Absolutely. And one last question. Why are you still on the road doing all this? You're running all over. Weren't you down in Florida the other day, and then you're up here tonight?
I do enjoy having a little bit of money to pay my bills and go to the grocery store, but also I do really love it.
Yes.
You can tell. When I'm on stage, my whole the expression on my face and everything is really obvious that I really like being there. And I have to ask myself sometimes, what is it that makes a person want to get out there and show off and play and sing for people? And then sometimes when I'm scared and I'm nervous about a gig, I'm thinking, why did I do this? Why did I book this gig if it's one I'm nervous about? And I think, And why do I want to do this?
Because you're a big old ham.
I'm a ham. That's it exactly.
You know, I have two shows that I do. I do one from 9:30 to 10:30 in the morning, and then I do one from 5 to 6 in the afternoon. And sometimes and I stay up till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'll get up and I'll go, why am I doing this? And then I go, I know, because I got people out there depending on me, right? So I understand.
So you're doing the 2 prime times.
Yes.
The morning thing and the drive time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I do. And
That's
I
really
do
cool.
interview the afternoon. In fact, we're going to play your interview on the radio. So this is why I wanted to get it, and we'll post it on Facebook, and I'll tag you on Facebook.
Oh,
so
thank you for that. Yeah, that'd
So
be
you
wonderful.
can. Yeah, I sent you I put you a message where you were saying you were going to be here tonight, and I was hoping for the interview, and Justin made it happen, and here we are.
Wonderful.
Well, I appreciate being on the radio. I'm always happy to do an interview. I appreciate it.
Well, I would love to have you call in sometime if you'd like to do that.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Sure, yes.
I do phone in things a lot.
Oh, okay.
Mama loves to talk.
She loves to talk. I wouldn't have known that at all. I wouldn't have known that at all. Well, listen, this has been absolutely terrific this evening, and I know you've got to finish getting ready. But I am looking forward to your concert, and I'm looking forward to you throwing that leg up on the piano, because I've seen, I think it was 2024 was a picture I saw of you, and I thought, if she's still doing that, I'm going to be really impressed.
I did it last night. I hope I can still do it. I'll tell you, and I will. But my stool tonight is quite a bit lower, and the piano's a little bit higher. So my foot and my leg has got to go up.
She'll make it
Right.
work.
But I got to make it. I got to make it happen.
You gonna make it?
I've just got to do it. I just have
You
to.
now have, you have
I
to.
mean,
That's your
everybody
signature
expected- I
move.
started doing that when I was on the road with Van, because he asked me to.
Yeah.
He thought it was the cutest thing and the coolest thing, and always wanted me to do that.
And you had pants on, I hope.
And that's when
She did.
I never wear dresses, but I started doing it on his tours when I was touring with him, and I've just kept it going.
Yeah. Well, I bet that was great to travel Europe like you did.
For sure.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
When you were in Europe traveling.
Oh, we had such a good time over there. We did, and we had one year that we were on the road with Van, and we did some shows with him in America too.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure when Tom was on stage with us, I was in California when the day. It was in LA, what? Wilshire Theater.
Yes.
That was really cool.
Well, you've had and continue to have a fantastic life.
Well, thank you, Ann.
And thank you for being gracious enough to have this interview with us right here in the green room of the Fiddle and Bow Music Hall.
Well, it is my pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Linda Gail. And I'm not sure what was going on there at the end. We've got some interference or something going on, but that's my interview with Linda Gail. I hope that it looks to me like it got hung up. I don't know whether it did on your screen or is it just my screen, but anyways, it looked like it got hung up. I hope it didn't for the Facebook Live. If it did, we'll post the interview separate. But I was so impressed with the fact that she took the time and that she is so, I'm going to use the word genuine. She didn't have any problem talking about anything, whether it's being married to 8 husbands. And what'd she tell me? She went through 3 by the time she was 15, I think. So she has been a person out there. If you want something fun to look her up on YouTube, Linda Gail Lewis. She is the sister of Jerry Lee Lewis, and they did some great work together. She's continued to do some great work on her own, and she is a treasure. She is a treasure, and I will treasure this interview for many, many years, I hope. So I am excited to have gotten that for you. So, what else are we going to talk about here? Well, I am looking forward to bringing you the interview if everything's going to work right. I hope we're going to be able to get it. The interview that we did with Sherry Biggs, Representative Sherry Biggs. Now, one of the things that I did today, which is brand new for me, but it worked, and I was so impressed with the fact that we did it. We were able to, even though she was in Washington, D.C., we were able to bring her live to you right here on Facebook Live, and my hope is that we're able to play it for you. But first, we're going to hear a word from our sponsors that is making all this possible, and so let's play a couple of commercials. We'll be right back. You know, coming up on the 12th of March is Greenwood Performing Arts Bourbon, Boots, and Blues. And tomorrow afternoon, we are going to hear from E.G. Kite, who has been an artist that has performed here at the Blues Cruise. I think it was 2 years in a row. And she also is, we had interviewed her on for the Blues Cruise, so that was pretty cool. But she is going to be here in town for the Bourbon, Boots, and Blues. And then, of course, their bourbon connoisseur, Wesley Timmerman, and his friend, are going to come in, and we're going to talk about bourbon tomorrow afternoon. So it should be kind of cool. We're talking about bourbon. We're playing the music from the artist that will be here, E.G. Kite. This is going to be great. So let you hear this. You need to go ahead and get your tickets. It will be at the Inn on the Square. It is a limited number of tickets are still available, but let's take it away.
Hello, this is Lisa with Greenwood Performing Arts, the only organization bringing you experiences like no other. Join us on Thursday, March the 12th at the Inn on the Square for our highly anticipated Bourbon, Boots, and Blues. Doors open at 6 o'clock with appetizers and special bourbon tasting by bourbon connoisseur Wesley Timmerman and friends, all while enjoying the bluesy tunes of E.G. Kite and Band. And don't forget, Clubhouse Cigars will be on the veranda. It will be an experience reminiscent of a speakeasy with a modern twist. Limited tickets are available by going online at greenwoodperformingarts.org or in person at the Arts Center. A special thanks to our season sponsor, Lakeland's Plastic Surgery, and our event sponsors, Davis & Floyd, the County Bank, and Deals Heating and Air. See you there, and you can wear your boots.
Have a favorite blizzard from Dairy Queen? Did you know you can make it into a Dairy Queen blizzard cake?
DQ. Happy tastes good.
Make every occasion special with a blizzard cake only from your local Dairy Queen on the 72 bypass. Order one today.
DQ. Happy tastes good.
So make your next occasion extra special with your favorite blizzard as a cake. Only from Dairy Queen.
DQ. Happy tastes good.
This February, let your heart decide at the Greenwood YMCA. New members will get to pick a heart and discover their special YMCA perk. Will it be a free month or zero joiner's fee? Either way, your heart wins. From group fitness and family fun to healthier habits and stronger communities, the Y is where you belong. Visit the Greenwood YMCA or join online today. The Y, there's no place like this place.
Oh, well, we need another commercial here, and let's put one in here. How about this one?
Are you passionate about life? Always wanted to see Tim Tebow in person, not on a screen? Hi, I'm Brenda, and Road to Life 2026 with Tim Tebow is an evening that brings our community together to stand for life and support those facing unexpected pregnancies. Join Crossroads on April 16th at Lander University Finnishorn Arena for a night with Tim Tebow as he inspires us to live fearlessly and put love in action. Every life has a story and every choice matters, and living fearlessly through compassion can change a future. Learn more about sponsorship opportunities and get tickets at crossroadspregnancycenter.org. This year, our sound is brought to you by Andy Sikora with Cal Productions. See you there Thursday, April 16th.
Oh, that's right. Looks like my music is not working in between here, so we will just move on and see if I can do this. Do this next thing I'm trying to do here. This is an experimental day for sure, and I want to bring in Sherry's show here and play that for you. So let's see if I can do this for you. All right. Oh, that's right. We are live this afternoon, and it is so terrific to have Sherry Biggs right here with us today. I'm looking forward to having a great conversation with her. So let's see if we can get Sherry in the screen here. We have her in the screen. We have her on the air. How are you doing, Sherry Biggs?
Hello, I'm doing great. Thank you.
I can't believe I did this. I'm in shock. Well, it is so great for you to be able to take some time away from your busy, busy schedule. Oops, what happened? What happened here? I got to know, what have you been keeping you busiest in Washington right now, Sherry?
Oh, wow. Well, I got to be home last week, so I was working in the district, but we are back going wide open here in D.C. today. We're all excited about hearing from President Trump at the State of the Union this evening, and there's just a lot going on. I had a Homeland Security Committee hearing earlier today, and it's busy. Lots of constituents here, and people, you said taking time out of my busy schedule, they're probably lined up outside the door. It's there's a lot going on, but happy to be able to serve.
Well, you said, I tell you what, since you have been in Washington, Sherry, I think you've been doing a terrific job for us. I mean, every day, and you're always introducing legislation. Here you are, it's been a year. It's been a year, hasn't it? And
Yes,
to
it's
see
gone
what
fast.
you have put forth in that time, what is one of the proudest legislation that you've put forward so far?
Oh, wow. I think probably our bill, the Made in America Defense Act, I was very proud of that. Obviously, that's my first bill to pass through the House floor with overwhelming support. But I also think we underestimate how much the One Big Beautiful Bill helped our constituents in the 3rd District. I'm very proud of that. The work that we've done with, I just had some constituents leave here with medical issues. So being able to use my healthcare background to make good decisions for our constituents, and not just our constituents, but veterans also. I've worked with a lot of veterans throughout my career, and I think bringing that experience here helps me, and I'm very honored to have this opportunity.
Well, I think, how do you think the Big Beautiful Bill is helping constituents here in our 3rd District?
Well, I think we're really going to see the effects starting the 1st of March. I know that's what the economists are saying. They're already seeing things turn around. I know we'd like to see the grocery prices go down, but I think with this year's tax returns, we're going to see more and more money going into the pockets of our taxpayers.
Well, let's hope so, because it seems like the economy and affordability are going to be the issues this year, aren't they?
They are, and I anticipate that's what the president is going to be talking about tonight. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what he has to say.
You think it's going to be a popcorn night tonight here, Sherry? I mean, should I pop lots of popcorn and see what's going to happen here tonight?
I don't know. I think most of the people in our district, they just want people to go to work and make things better and no drama. So that's pretty much what you get with me. Kind of plain and boring, but definitely a hard worker. So
I don't think you're plain, honey. I don't think that at all. And I think that you are tenacious. I think if I was going to use a word to describe Sherry Big, I would use tenacious. When you just look at what you went through on your campaign, you definitely were tenacious. You have definitely, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, proved to the people of the 3rd District that you are there and you are in it to do the job, and you've been doing the job.
well, it's the quiet ones you got to be more alarmed with. You got to kind of watch because we'll surprise you. But we have been working hard. My team, both in Anderson office in the district and the DC office, we never stop. We have our foot on the gas and we're going wide open and working hard. And I hope the people in the district feel that and know that and understand that we're available and we're here to work for you. We work for you.
No, that's true. Now, tell us about that Hopes to Heals Act. And, with your degree and with your background in nursing and mental health, what is that degree? What is that bill about?
Well, we just want to make sure that people, when they are in a crisis, when they need help, that we're actually putting organizations to work. This isn't going to cost more money. It's not just another form of red tape, and actually it does quite the opposite. Mental health is a huge concern. Last year I think we had over 240 plus deaths by suicide, and we just need to make sure that parents, individuals, anyone, when they're in a crisis mode, that they can reach out and receive the help that they need quickly. And the person on the other end of the phone knows where to find help and what to do, how to respond promptly.
So what will that bill actually do, Sherry?
Well, it'll utilize resources that we already have, but it's just to make sure that it cuts through the red tape and it provides mental health assistance, emergency assistance when the people need it, not a day or two down the road or weeks down the road. Sometimes that's the frustrating part with healthcare, is having access at your fingertips to the resources that you need when you need them.
Well, if that wasn't enough, then you introduced the Protecting Motherhood Act. What was that about?
Oh, wow. I can't really even believe that we're having to discuss this, but it was in 2022, the Biden administration chose to change the terminology to from mother to birthing person, and this just restores dignity and respect to the mother. And I think it's ridiculous that we have to explain that females are the only ones that can actually give birth to children, but it just restores common sense. But
has that one made it through yet? Has that one made it through the House and the Senate yet, or?
Not yet, but you'll hear more about that in the upcoming days.
I was talking about on the radio this morning some of the angst that our country is going through right now, and I'd be interested to see if you think I'm on the right track, was actually, if Biden hadn't been such a terrible president, we wouldn't be in the situation and have to be fighting so hard to bring our country back.
It does seem like it's taken a little a little while to get things back going, but we had really gone down a dark path. So I have to say that I absolutely agree with your thoughts on that. And I think I think this administration has done a good job. Has everything been perfect? Absolutely not. But we have to continue to put America first because we had gotten so far off track. It is alarming, but we have to do what's best for the next generation. I want our children and my future grandchildren to have good opportunities and to be given a fair hand and to be able to live a good life and just to enjoy things that the freedoms that we've enjoyed because of our ancestors.
Absolutely. But I just think that people that are Democratic friends don't realize that if they had not had such a bad president there to begin with, we wouldn't be in the mess and be having to try to pull things back. And I think that's kind of lost in a lot of discussions that are out there today.
I think it is, and I think people are easily deceived right now, and I'm not really sure what the cause. I feel like it's spiritual warfare personally, but I think people see what they want to see, and given the facts and the obvious, how we can't see things more clearly, it's a little scary to me.
Yeah, I agree. And so you've had these good bills that you're putting out there. Um, what is it like working in the current Congress post State of the when after the first year? What kinds of bipartisan efforts are there going on? Since we were just talking about that, are there some bipartisan efforts going on, Sherry?
I don't feel like there's a lot, Miss Ann, and that's a little bit discouraging. We talked about mental health. I do have a couple people that I have been able to have, I guess, really good discussions about the mental health awareness and the need in our country. So, but that's really about the extent. I sit on Homeland Security, and sometimes you could really sell popcorn in that arena. And I think it's scary and it's unfortunate and it's unprofessional given with what all's going on in our country right now with Iran. I think we need to be laser focused and pulling together to protect our children and protect our homeland. But unfortunately, everyone doesn't see eye to eye or even close in that
What do you
respect.
think about getting this partial shutdown that's going on? Do you think there's any hope of that coming to an end anytime soon?
I hope so, but I got to say, it doesn't even make sense what the Democrats are asking for or demanding. They're all upset about ICE, and those men and women go out and risk their lives every day to try to protect us, and they are treated with such disrespect, and these paid protesters to defy any type of law and order. And I think it's unfortunate. So now we have this shutdown, which they have been fully funded, so it's not going to impact them. But look at FEMA, look at TSA. That's pretty much what our hearing was about today, and that protection that we need, with whether it's cyber security or just protection in general from like the Coast Guard, is not going to be funded. And now, I mean, we're in crunch time. We've got all these special events coming up for the 250th, and we need to be protecting our country. And they don't have the resources. They're not going to be able to do what they need to do to be ready for those events.
Well, it is lots of bizarro stuff going on up there. I know that you work with on the veterans. What is your hope that you'll be able to accomplish? Anything new on the veterans front?
Well, I'm not on the VA committee, but I'm very involved with the Caucus, and we discuss a lot of things with the Veterans Affairs and the healthcare needs because of my background. And I think it's encouraging what Secretary Collins is doing to pretty much revamp the Veterans Administration. It's encouraging to see what he has done with less personnel, but providing more resources and better quality of care for our veterans, which they have earned um, every single thing that they get. So that's been very inspiring to me.
That sounds good. So tonight, the hockey team, the U.S. Hockey team's coming back with gold. They, I understand, are already in. They landed at Andrews, and they are coming tonight. Are you looking forward to meeting the hockey team? Are you going to get to meet the hockey team?
I'm not sure where they're going to be, but they'll be somewhere. They may be sitting right beside us on the house floor. I don't know, but they have earned that right to come, and super excited to have them there and help them celebrate their win.
You know, it is such in my opinion, it is such a dichotomy in what we see. We see people that like this hockey team that just thank God for U.S. and all this, so positive and everything. And then on the other side, we've seen American athletes, some, not many, who just were, well, I'm not very proud of my country. It's hard to understand, isn't it, Sherry?
Well, I don't feel that way. I still think, even with our problems, we have the greatest country ever, and so proud to be an American, and will fight until the day I die, to make sure that we continue the work of our forefathers, and um, make sure that our Constitution is held up high, and um, that we serve one nation under God. That's my
I know,
goal.
but it's hard to understand, isn't it, that people could have such varying opinions. You know, that you can see the exuberance of the hockey team, right? And the guy has had his teeth knocked out, and still he goes back and plays and makes it through the game. I mean, I'm like, I'm all for commitment, but really, right?
Well, that just makes it even more special. I mean, to have those sacrifices and to come out on top, good for him. And yeah, I'm really proud of them. But no, I don't understand the naysayers. I have a philosophy. It's pretty simple. If you don't love this country, get out. But
Exactly.
that's just me.
Exactly. So do you think tonight, last year when it wasn't a State of the Union, but he gave his speech, there was very angst from the Democrats. And I've heard several different things. I've heard some will be there, some are going to be at another meeting out on the National Mall. They'll be having their little thing. And then, on top of bizarroness, in my opinion, they've got the governor of Virginia is going to be giving the response to this. Talk about somebody that is really shown that she's not a moderate, that she's really liberal, giving the response. What do you think of where they're at?
I think they're grasping at straws. The Democrats, they don't have a plan. They are just being reckless. And the way I see it, the more they talk, the more we win, because they don't have goals. They don't have, I mean, look at what we were just talking about with Homeland Security and with DHS, how, they're mad at ICE, so they're going to shut down the government, which doesn't even impact ICE, but how it hurts other agencies. It makes no sense. And I think the American people can easily see through this. And I hope when they go and vote in their primaries or in the general election that that the truth just prevails and good outweighs the dark.
Yeah. Well, I know we'll be looking for you in the audience tonight, and we'll be cheering you on and cheering for President Trump. Hope that everything goes well tonight. Have you had any dealings with Fetterman?
I really haven't personally, not at all.
But
So
isn't he an interesting Democrat?
I say that's a good way to term it.
Yeah.
Yes, he
I
is.
mean, I just find everybody that, you just hear him and you go, really? I mean, because he is not really out there with everybody else, and he does go for supporting what is the right thing. But anyways, I just wanted to ask that. So, what are there any things that you feel really strong about bringing back to the 3rd District? Any things from what's happening up there?
Well, obviously, the economy and making sure that our constituents are being able to have affordable lives, to be able to, whether that's housing, we want good jobs. We've had numerous meetings today talking about things that are coming back to the district. I'm super excited about that. Energy independence, because of some of those jobs, we have to make sure that we've laid the groundwork and that we're able to meet the needs. And South Carolina is one of the fastest growing states, and we have to be able to handle that, whether it's housing, jobs, education, just on and on. But we want South Carolina, we want the 3rd District to be the very best place in the world to live, and I think it is. And again, I'm honored to be representing that district, and thank you for all you do to get out our message and to help with the communication. And if individuals aren't signed up already for our newsletter, please follow our newsletter so that you can see what we're doing here. And we would be happy, contact our offices if there's something that you need, whether the Anderson office or here in DC. We want to hear from you.
So, so as we wind this up, I need to ask, are you going to run for re-election?
Well, I think there's a pretty good chance. We've got a lot of we've done a lot, and we have a lot more to do. But now I think more than ever, the constituents can look at my voting record. They can look at what's taken place over the last 12 months and make a very informed decision on who will be in DC fighting hardest for them.
Absolutely. Well, I just had to ask. I just wanted to check. This is something that I know we are very passionate about. Anything else that you'd like to tell us, Sherry, before I let you go here today? I just want to say it's great having a few minutes to talk to Representative Sherry Biggs from the 3rd District.
No, just thank you so much for having me on your show and for all that you do. And hopefully we'll get to catch up in person soon and give my best to Penny.
Absolutely.
Princess Penny.
So one more question. Do you know, are there going to be any South Carolinians? I know the the Angel Act that President Trump signed for Sunday. Do you know, are there any families or anything that are going to be there from South Carolina tonight?
I know there are going to be families here, but I'm not certain. There are a lot of South Carolinians here in general right now, but I'm not sure if there are any for that particular purpose.
Yeah, wasn't
But
that I
I'll
thought
find
that
out
was
and I'll let you know.
yeah, I thought that was a great thing to do. The Angels
I
Act.
think it's a good way. I think it's definitely a good way to heal and to move forward and to have closure. I think it's amazing what he's doing.
Absolutely. Well, Representative Sherry Biggs, thank you so much for coming on this afternoon. I understand you have another meeting to go to, so thanks for taking the time with us this afternoon.
Thank you. We'll talk soon.
All
God
right.
bless.
Bye-bye, Sherry. Thank you. You have been hearing Sherry Biggs right here on WCRS. And yes, I am the one that's here right now. So Sherry had to run and get on with what she was doing. And so I am here with you for the rest of the time. I just want to say we'll be airing this interview at this afternoon at 5 o'clock, and then we're going to play my interview that I did with Gail Lewis. What a terrific person. We had a great time talking to her. So it was wonderful to be able to interview her. It was a great show over there at the Fiddle and Bow. So that's all I got right now. I just wanted to come on and see if we could get that interview. We did get it. We got it done. And I did it live on Zoom and live on Facebook. This is awesome. I've been holding off doing this because I didn't know whether I could do it. But guess what? I just did it. Maybe not the next time, but this time I just did it. So we're going to say adieu. Thanks so much for tuning in. I will be back at 5 o'clock. And as I said, we'll be replaying Sherry's interview and an interview with Linda Gail Lewis right here on WCRS. So without anything else to say, I'm going to say bye-bye, everybody. Okay, there you go. I'm right here. I forgot to turn the thing back on. Okay, so I had a screw up here tonight. I did it all the way through, though. I played Linda Gale. I've now played Sherry Biggs, and I'm Ann Eller, and I'm going to sign off before anything else happens. So that's going to do it from us. Sorry about some of the glitches on the recordings. I don't know what exactly is going on. I did tell you that Food Lion here on the bypass was had no power, and also the traffic light was out. That was around 4:45 this afternoon. Not really sure what was going on there. But anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks for being on the radio with me. Thanks for watching Facebook. If you get a chance, go back and watch Linda Gale. Hopefully that video was good all the way through, and that you'll be able to enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Linda Gail Lewis, and also my interview with Sherry Biggs this afternoon. That's going to do it for us. We're going to put the curtain down and say adieu until tomorrow morning. I'll be back here with you right here on WCRS Radio. Let's try the music, see if we're going to get any music or not. I don't know. It looks kind of wonky over here, but let's try it. There it goes. Bye-bye, everybody.